Hi, my name is Steve Glenn. I'm from Edmonton, Canada, and today I'm going to tell you about some of the passion projects I've been working on in hopes that you'll be impressed by my aptitude for creating things and using computers to create them as a possible why I might be a good software developer. So I'm going to start with this game that I've been playing called Homeworld Deserts of Kharak. It's a multiplayer real-time strategy game, so like StarCraft, or what I like to call fast chess, where you're making moves to face off against an opponent. The difference is that in chess you have turn-based moves, where in this type of game you have incomplete information. So what they call fog of war. So either way, we have a very small community and we play multiplayer games against each other. And some of the things that I've been working on are somebody in the community came up with a mod that allows for some of our own inputs into the game, and such as like we call it a balance patch, so how much the units do, how effective they are against each other. And so I made a spreadsheet that will write some code to help test units against each other. Okay. The reason why I use spreadsheets is because when I started, it was something that I knew how to. I felt like I was capable of executing something, so I could develop it, but also so that other people in the community don't have to be software developers to also participate. They can just plug in their information and then use it. So this is something that I developed and then shared with the community that other people could use. Okay. So I tried to make inputs as intuitive as possible, and I tried to document them so that people can easily figure them out and jump into something that I've created to get the outputs that they want. For example, like here's a picture of the map, and then by choosing inputs here, they would show up on this graph. So it would graph it for them, and they could see right in their mind's eye where it would go on this the map in the game. As they choose these things, and then so there would be one team here and the opposing team here, and they would sort of like, you could just line up your units against each other. And then we're gonna you can use the drop down list to choose which type of unit and input how many, and then the other team the same thing, and then how many. And immediately it brings out this XML code. So it would be just as easy as copying and pasting everything in this document into a web hosted service like on the GitHub or on Pastebin. I have other videos on that I produced and shared with the community. But that's pretty cool. It's a spreadsheet that writes code. Another thing that I've been working on was in the game has a leaderboard built in, but it only ranks the auto match, and we use the public games feature just because it has there's somebody actually playing more options. You can actually choose the map you want to play and use the mods that we've implemented. So I made my own leaderboard, which looks like this. So this is the public facing part of it, where players can go to this public spreadsheet and see where they rank against everyone else. Where they get their ELO and their plus minus. So enabled to do that, I had to create kind of like a whole ecosystem of spreadsheets. When I started, I used a lot of kind of elementary stuff like lookup tables and some filtering. And then as the project went on, I learned to use the primary keys, which I knew better from my managing information sessions training at the University of Alberta. So I finally got around to using that. I learned how to use some SQL, mostly the select method, to move things around and filter data and resort it in different ways. So yeah, I had to overcome some unique problems because spreadsheets don't update like relational databases do. They just sort of go row by row. So I had to be innovative with that, but I got something that works and I'm happy with that. I can think of ways to, or I've thought of a way to redo it so that it doesn't, it's cleaner and faster. But I haven't implemented that because we're talking about moving this whole thing onto a server and its own website. So there's a lot of factors at play, and I haven't gone to it yet. But I'll walk you through. I'll show you what is all that's input from the users is they just need a name, so they input there, and then they can go start playing, and they just play what we have 4 game types. They'll know what that is, and then we have a simple drop down list, and they just select who they are, who they played against, and then who won. And then you can upload your replay files and tell me what map you played on, as well as the factions, and leave a note. So this I had to go and find a plugin script, an add-on that updates this live from that whenever it was generated from the registration list. So that was Form Ranger, and so that was easy to implement once I had to troubleshoot and find that it only works if you're logged out of your browser. You can't be logged in as your user. So, I kind of like the troubleshooting aspect of code development. So this is what it finally looks like. It has the leaderboards. Players can also view all the games that were played total and look at the replays. So it's very open, very sharing, and they can also sort by who played what games or who played against who. So prior to that, I made another version of that same leaderboard, and I tried to create a handbook to all the players, so everyone in the league would get their own handbook that would this is a live sheet, but there's some troubles with Google API with the slides where it doesn't push. So ultimately this handbook didn't go through, but I was really proud of myself on the communications of this, and that it had, the first thing is the leaderboard, letter to the participants, the rules, your map list, some more rules, as well as interactive elements here that players could come up with a game plan before they started. So these are all, this is what the units look like in a certain view in game. So they'd be familiar with this, and they could just pick these and drag them around on the actual map. So I want to go this way with this kind of unit, right? and then follow it up with, this one goes over here, and this was for the team, right? So they could communicate with each other what they're going to do, maybe come up with a battle plan before they actually got out there. It also included the other players they play against in their emails, as well as all the games played, some additional resources like the tech trees, and then links to some other stuff. Let me think. So I've done a ton more stuff like spreadsheets that build maps, or code, but I thought this is one of the most interesting ones. So I thought I'd share that with you. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.